Good afternoon. Yes, it's almost 2 o'clock and it's like 2 degrees out there. It's a little chillier than most of us here like. Beginning of winter, we had snow this morning, as you saw, so the end is nigh. That just means that, the end of the year is closer than it was yesterday, where we only had horrors to look forward to. Now we have snow. That's way worse. Way worse than horrors. Right, Julia? Julia agrees. She has to hide under warm places and cuddle up to me all night long when it gets cold. Not that our house is cold, but it's definitely colder than my classroom, which is, most classrooms are, because people just sit and don't move in them, right? Which is a good idea, that you have a warm place if you don't move. Yes, the snow was disconcerting, unexpected, but really they did warn us about it, so it should not have been quite so unexpected. It was just surprising, let's say that. I'm taking a break from my morning class preparation. There are some things that I haven't really talked about, just touched on lightly, but this morning they sort of came together in my mind. They're very related, I think, somewhat related. I don't know. In the news in Canada for the last week or so, I have been to two sort of major events. The attacks and murders or killings of two armed forces members, the deaths of those two men and injuries of others, and the scandal, the sex scandal of one of our CBC radio hosts, former musician, singer in a rock band, Roxy Fruvis. His name is Jean Gameshi. Yeah, so those things I think are related in a way that I was reading about this morning. A newspaper columnist, her name is Margaret Wente. She said that, some people say that these things happen because of upbringing or experiences. They're learned. And some people say that you just, there's some mental problem. Well, I think these things are probably both of those. I think that the attitudes that these men who went out and killed had were both learned from their parents, from their environments, from their backgrounds, as well as there being something wrong. Okay? They have, as Margaret said, there's a screw loose there somewhere, And I think that's what it all is. Partly learned behavior, and partly something just isn't quite right. Because lots of people go through their lives and have difficult or interesting experiences and learning opportunities, and they come out okay. And they don't mess up everybody around them. and others don't. My sister and I are prime examples. We came out, I think, our kids seem to think, as fairly all right people. Turned into fairly all right parents. Despite the fact that we had the same mother, and you know what my mother is like. You know what my parents are like. My sister and I have the same parents. We both came out okay, with okay kids. But not everybody does. And obviously something happened with these men. And they didn't come out all right. And it shows. Hi, Julia. That's what I needed, your butt in the picture. Because you have such a cute butt. Yes. Just leave my butt alone. I'm looking at the leaves. Yeah, so, well, goodness. Let's just, there we go. Yeah, she is totally distracted. No, she's not distracted. She's focused. She's thinking about me. She's looking at those leaves out there. And it's windy and they are flying. Anyway, yeah, that's just what I wanted to pontificate about. Don't use those words often enough, right? The dictionary is such an unused place. I've decided to use more of it. On that note, I think I'll get back to work. Yeah. I mean, the two shooters, I can understand. They have, certain backgrounds and then certain experiences and something, and that happens. Yeah, I think Jian Ghomeshi is probably the same thing. He has a certain background, certain issues in his life. It's two. And then something just ain't right. Because he just ain't right. So there you go. On a Saturday afternoon. That's what Monica thinks.